Let's wait one more week. Hello everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Mario So, and in today's video, I want to talk about my thought process and my behind the scenes of this video that I created for the Markbone handheld one-shot challenge. So to enter this challenge, your video had to be about 30 seconds and it had to be shot in one complete take. So that means no cuts and no edits, no multiple camera angles and things like that. The other thing was that you were not allowed to use any stabilization. Everything had to be handheld, meaning no gimbals, no sliders, no tripods, no stabilizers at all. The one thing that you were allowed to use was either a camera cage or a top handlebar. And Markbone explains in this video, which I will link to in the descriptions below, very useful tips on how to shoot handheld, including how to use a handlebar to help smoothen out your handheld movements. I also have a video where I give handheld tips for shooting handheld on your smartphone, particularly on an iPhone, but some of those tips apply to any camera as well. So if you'd like to check that out, how to achieve smoother footage handheld, you can check this video out below or above. So I've always been amazed at one take scenes, meaning a long one continuous take without any cuts. So you can see this technique employed in movies like Godfellas or Children of Men, which is done really well. You can tell the actors and the camera crew had to memorize everything and do it so many times in order to achieve such a perfect one take shot. But for this challenge, we didn't have to create a 15-minute long one take. All we had to do is a 30-second one take shot. The thing about one take scenes for me is that there's so much involved. There's so many levels, there's so many cool camera movements, and they all come together very seamlessly. Being in a condo, I felt it was gonna be difficult to incorporate different rooms, movement, different levels, low to high, if I was just going to film with one actor. So I came up with this idea of a kid playing with their toy. And I had this little toy drone that I used to practice with when I first started learning how to fly drones. And I thought, what if we have a kid, in this case my wife, play around with this drone, and in their imagination they'll be thinking about almost like a drone spaceship chase. So I thought this idea was brilliant because not only I got rid of my problem of not having different levels, since I would be following the drone going from low angles to high angles, and I could use different things in my home to create that depth in between the shot, in between the camera and the little drone. I thought about creating this sort of really cool helipad sort of station. So with that, I just had my doormat and I put a wooden cake stand on it and a circular display stand that I recently purchased from Amazon for products. I put an RGB tube light at the back and I had controlled that with my smartphone. I wanted to have the camera slowly approach the drone, and at one point the lights would turn off, the HUD interface on the camera will come up, and then the chase would start. In terms of camera, I used the A7 III on a Tamron 17 to 28 f2.8. In terms of picture profile, I used HLG2. You can check the exact settings that I used for that picture profile in the description below. I knew this was going to be an action-packed Star Wars-esque chase with lots of shooting and stuff like that. So I opted to shoot this at 4K at 24 frames per second. And before I even started shooting this, I was just walking around my home, just trying to envision where this drone would go. So I sort of played with this drone myself and I just flew it around the home. So originally, because I have a handlebar on the C100, I was going to shoot this on the C100. But then I realized it was really difficult for the different shots that I was doing. Especially of that shot of the camera sort of like tilting at the same time of the drone, and just going through those leaves, that plant. And then I thought I could probably use this top handle on my A7 III. But then I realized this didn't really work with the A7 III. So this is specially designed for the C100. And on the C100, the cold shoe sort of goes backwards. Like the entry point goes through the front, whereas on regular DSLRs and mirrorless cameras, it goes from the back. So I tried this scene just the regular handheld way, holding the A7 III this way, but I found that it was introducing way too much shake to my liking. And then I thought about this guy. This is a small and super cheap Yongnuo LED spotlight, which I review in a video here if you'd like to check it out. So I realized that this light sort of looks like a bigger top handlebar, like a very thick version of that, but it has a cold shoe. So I tried this on the camera and it kind of worked. The A7 III and Tamron 1728 combo isn't that heavy of a setup that this was able to handle it quite well. Now I had to do this a few times. It didn't work in all one take. I probably had to do this about 10 times, 10, 15, about 12, 13 takes. And at one point I also thought about sort of tying the little drone and make it sort of just hang in front of the camera lens. So it would be more like a point of view thing. But I realized that that didn't work. Once the shoot was complete, I went on to MusicBed to pick the soundtrack that I know I wanted to use. And from there, I had to source a bunch of different sound effects. I also browsed around the net for free HUD templates, and I found a few that I was very happy with, so I just tweaked them up a little bit and just slapped them on in Adobe After Effects. The laser guns, they're really easy to make in After Effects. I just had to make one and duplicate that and mirror that, and from there on it was the same two laser guns that were used just throughout the video. I also felt it would have been very cool if I set something on fire with the little tiny laser beam, so I decided to set that little cake on fire. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but that was easily achieved with an explosion element. Now when it comes to sound design, I didn't just want to slap a soundtrack to this. I wanted it to have different layers of sound just to make it more cinematic, if you will, or to sell the entire story a lot more. So I started from having those radar sound effects, glitch sound effects, and then when seemingly the drone was revving up its engine to start flying, I added some sounds there. And then just throughout the car chase, the drone chase, I would add different sounds here and there just to emphasize that. So I wanted to create this behind the scenes just to show that creative process that anyone can do right now, especially that we are all at home. And with a few workarounds and a few creative ideas, you can come up with different things that you can do and different camera rigs that you may be able to build with what you may already have at home. So this is all for today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed that one take video that I created. Let me know in the comments below how you've been able to be creative and build some creative rigs for your cameras. I would love to hear about them. And special thanks again to Mark Bone and MusicBed. This was a very cool and creative challenge again to take part in. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Your support is greatly appreciated. And if you're already subscribed, thanks again so much for watching. So that is all for today, guys. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and until next time.